Hello my friends, welcome to another episode of Game Testing Unlimited. My name is Wilfred. So this is Titan Quest 2 Early Access patch 0.1.1, and believe it or not, this is the second take. I've made the video once and unfortunately the audio failed, and my friend Frederick kind of messaged me in YouTube saying that, hey, what's up to the video? So I'm redoing this again, so I'm hoping to be able to recreate the same experience I had there about an hour ago. Now, just to be fair to Frederick, I think he mentioned that this game has a lot of potential, but there's kind of a little bit a bit shallow, and I would say so. Yeah, I mean, there's only 20 level, and the skill is very much only unlocked until tier 3. So the amount of synergy you can see from different skill trees, I think it's going to be very limited. So imagine if you are playing Titan Quest 1 and or Grim Dawn in the first 20 level or first couple unlock into your skill tree, there aren't really a lot of excitement. The excitement comes in probably later when you are in the mid game and beyond. So that's how I see. By the way, I've completed the early access. So if you like to hear the first impression of the early access, you can refer to my previous video. I also plan to do another video just to talk about my experience towards the tail end of the early access, which was a lot smoother than the earlier one, when I figure out most of the mechanics and how to survive better, shall I say. Okay, so now this video is really about deep diving into some of these masteries as well as the stats and attributes, because as an ARPG gamer, I really love to see how the game works so that I can know how to make my character more powerful without relying too much on the internet kind of like a guides to instruct me what to do with my gears and what points to take. Maybe it's going to be the same, but I'm not sure. But I always find it very fun to figure things out, right? So now let's start with the character, then I go into attribute and masteries and so on and so forth. It's very classic ARPG. You can see that there's all the gear slot here. Very much like any other kind of ARPG you see, ring and necklace, and I'm sure in time to come there will be other slot like relics or whatever that's being added as well. There's potion as well, the health as well as mana. I found that the potion is not as complex as say Path of Exile, that you have to remember what potion means what and when to click the potion. It's a little bit simpler than that, and the potion has certain kind of like attribute against it as well, so you can use it for some benefit in your playtime with the character. And you have two different weapon sets you can do as well. I usually just stick with one. And another thing quite interesting to see is you can observe all this kind of like gear has the type of Margot's robes, which is like cloth. So I think the armor is very much into different kind of types. So you can have the robes, which is the cloth wearer, then you have the light armor, medium armor, and the heavy armor. So I see that when you pick something like the Margot's robe, you have higher shielding, like the energy barrier, compared to say other armor class. So now this game allows you to dual class or dual masteries, so I think it kind of makes sense. Say if I want to be playing with fire, but I also want to be very melee-ish, then I may want to carry medium armor or heavy armor. You can do that too. We'll talk about attribute requirement in just a bit. Looking into the detail here, and it's very basic stuff like the energy, health is a mana health, and there's something called barrier as well. Every class has it, so it will pop the barrier, then it go to max, and then you can see that these things start to come down, and you can use all the other kind of like attribute to try to make it drop slower, and you can pop it again. You can keep popping it, just that it consumes quite a fair bit of mana when you do that, so it's not something that you can just pop on cooldown, otherwise you just can't deal damage. I'm keen to see what other design it will come with the barrier. A lot of game design actually abuse this whole barrier kind of thing. for good or for bad. Like Path of Exile, they have the low health kind of barrier thing. I believe for Last Epoch as well, they have the same thing, and Slawmancer as well. You can't live without the shield. So in time to come, it's kind of fun to see if the barrier is just too overpowering that everybody need to do that, or it's something that is just based on your play style. We'll see. You can have the weapon base damage as well. I don't really do like base damage weapon. You can do all this like fire thingy. Like hang on, let me just go somewhere I can see better. So you can do like this is a classic attack. It consumes no mana, and you can be strong as well. It depends on how you spec it, right? So this is the one that is on the weapon itself, and then you have the attribute that I will cover in just a bit. Then you have the main defenses towards the physical, thermal, and nature, which in short, all the sub kind of like damage that come to you: strike, pierce, fire, cold, lightning, and poison. These are the thing that will come to you. But you can go to advanced, look into a little bit better, look at regen, look at the barrier mechanism, the attack speed, cast speed. I think this is more to do with the weapon attack speed as well as the skill cast speed, and the cooldown as well. They're all these things very much ARPG stuff. Offensive wise, you can check out how great you are in certain kind of like damage. I'm doing cold, so my cold naturally is higher. The rest of it I don't really care. Then you have other bonus type as well. Then you have the damage over time, or the element that come along with the various kind of like attack type. So like for example, fire will cause burning, cold will cause chill, then lightning will shock, then poison will plague, and so on and so forth. So at least it's color coded, so it's kind of nice. But what I found kind of lacking so far is that there is no tooltip when you mouse over it, unlike games like Warhammer 40,000 Inquisitor Martyr, one of my favorite ARPG, underrated one. You can have the tooltip against all the items here, as well as any debuff icon as well. But I think it's kind of difficult to kind of like do it for maybe controller as well as handheld devices. Not sure why they have it. I don't have it. You have to refer to the Wikipedia on the fan page in order to understand how this exactly work. Then you have other things like glancing, melee, as well as projectile. I think it's more to chance to reduce certain kind of like damage. It's not like dodge. I think some games like to have the 100% damage reduction. People just abuse dodge, like Slawmancer, just full dodge. And when you can dodge, then why bother about resistance when you can dodge? Now of course you may get one shot, but that's not the point. The point is that you some game allow you to really overstep on something. It seems to me that this game kind of reduced to 50%. You can still kind of work towards that, but it's not really overpowering. I don't think there's a dodge anywhere. I really don't see it, but in time to come there may, or maybe I missed out something. Anyway, then you got all the elements as well that is you can do or against or to yourself. Yep. So that is the main gist of the game. This is the fundamental. The fundamental of the game is to play around with all these stats and try to build defense and offense against it. Then you have the miscellaneous things. I've played about 15 hours, just like I said, and yes, a lot of defeats came in the early game because I couldn't get the right gear, or some of my skills are just not powerful enough, and it's very hard to survive if you don't put in the points in the right places. Okay, so that is the stats about the character and what the rule of the game, which is very important because this is the base of the game, right? So now, knowing the rule of the game, so what's next? Let's take a look at the attribute itself. The attribute looks something like that, and they do have description here. I mean, you can actually read again the same thing. It doesn't really say much. And yeah, some description here. My pain point is that I need a little bit more to understand how to trade off between different kind of like attribute. But in a sense, each attribute will have contribution to two of these like we call it fitness, cunning, as well as resolve. Then might will pump this two, knowledge will pump this two, right? And as a warfare and the storm character, I may want to look into both might and knowledge. Who knows? But I'm more towards the caster, so I'm putting a lot of investment on the knowledge. And then you can also put a vigor. Vigor is a measure of health and tenacity that will increase equally for all three stats. but it doesn't really increase as much as the other attribute for obvious reason, right? One is to increase 2, the other is increase 3 of them. Now I found that in different game, different strategy, Grim Dawn is all about health, then the Titan Quest is really about the class direction that you want to set to. For this game, I think I would just put enough knowledge to unlock, to use certain gear, because the gear have requirement as well. But if a gear require fitness, cunning, which is not, if a gear require fitness that is not quite part of my cunning and resolve kind of stats, then I'll use vigor to pump the fitness rather than any of this, because it would be kind of a waste-ish kind of thing, right? And if you look at all this cunning thing is for potion and lightning, resolve is for fire and cold, fitness is for strike damage and pierce damage. I sort of get the fitness thing. I don't quite get the cunning and resolve, but whatever, it is what it is, right? This is secondary attribute. All right, so cool. So with that in mind, and with the fact that you don't even know the formula behind it, so it's a little bit of guesswork. To me, it just unlock the point until I feel kind of like strong enough, but I'm reserving some of this point. If in the future I see some very wonderful unique gear that is a little bit outside my class, but I still want to use it, so I may want to put some point into either agility or might in order to use those unique items. That's all about it. Just like the Titan Quest as well as Grim Dawn. Now you can reset the attribute as well, but it is for a lot of gold, and that is fine, I guess. And you could then next bit is really on the mastery. Now mastery, this is the interesting part of it. You can have the mastery, 2 mastery, up to 2 mastery when you start playing the game, just like Titan Quest, just like Grim Dawn. And you have something called core, means that this is beyond the mastery. These are things that you can do. You can dodge, you can do a barrier, you can do a primary attack, and also primary attack, but on the second kind of like this is a projectile, and this is the also projectile. I don't know. It's very much the same thing. I think it's just weapon slot 1 and weapon slot 2. Okay, so this is a core. Now in this game, you could do a Dark Soul kind of style, whereby I do not want to put any points divinity into Storm or Warfare. I just want to be not untalented or whatever you call it. So you can actually land all the points you dodge and barrier, and make your character very defensive, and yet you can pump a lot of things into your primary attack to make yourself also very strong in different kind of like way, right? So you could customize your primary attack, make it a lot stronger, and compare. And what I found also in this game, the core in terms of dodge and the barrier is very important. So dodge, for example, if you don't put enough points in the distance and cooldown charge, you are going to struggle a lot, because when you try to dodge, the distance is so minuscule that you may as well just walk, I would say, and giving you more charges is kind of good. And barrier is something that would kind of like make you survive, because I think barrier is one of the main mechanism of the game. You may not need 7 ranks to it, but I found that at least 4 or 5 is good. Now, how does the modifier work? And I think that is the very interesting part about Titan Quest 2. So every rank that you put in will earn you some kind of like let's just reset the whole thing so you guys can see. So every rank that you put in will give you a bit of kind of like, all these little token here. So if you take a look at this one here, when you put 1 point, you get 1 token. You get 2 point, 2 token, 3 point, 3 token. But beyond 3 token, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13, and so on, means that you need 2 points for each token. So it get more expensive. So that's point number 1 to take note. The other thing is that some of them require more token than the other. So if you want to go for speed, you only need 1 token. But if you want to go for cooldown charge, then you need 2 tokens in order to have more charges. So it means to say that not all modifier are being created equal. So that's an interesting thing to know as well. I find that distance is very important. So you put 3 points here. And then I say, okay, I put 1 point here. So I'm done with the whole dodging thing here. Now, of course, if I want to do one more dodge, then I need to invest 2 more active points to it. So that's on the dodge. And the barrier, it gives you another flavor as in like what this whole thing means. So besides all these, like, how many points you can put as well. So preparation is this one here. So now, interestingly, some of them are mutually exclusive. So if you pick up guard, you cannot pick preparation. If you pick up preparation, you cannot pick up guard. So in the good old skill tree, it's more like a branch that you cannot have one. You cannot have both. You have to decide one over another. So above and beyond the fact that each of the swim lane or each of the line require more point to invest in order to get to the end, then you also have the fact that some of the nodes are more expensive, and also some of the nodes are more mutually exclusive to each other. Now, also beyond that, there's something called prerequisite as well. So take a look at this one here. In order for me to have orbit, which the homing means projectile, if you don't hit the target, it will come and circle around you. You must have homing. In order to have chaos, you must have torrent. And why is it not here? I think there's a bug in the game that this thing I have to keep re-enabling. And it's kind of cool because you could like kind of adjust which one you want to have and so on, and there's a bit of like prerequisite as well. So in a nutshell, although this doesn't present you like a skill tree, like traditional skill tree Titan Quest Grim Dawn, it is essentially a skill tree, because you got different path to reach to the end, and you got different kind of like point investment in order to further on the path. There's some prerequisite, and there is some mutually exclusivity, right? And then that's on the active point. On the passive side is rather interesting as well. Same thing. You can have the point unlocked, but it's in a bit different ways. Some of these require 4 and 8 points to unlock. This one is 5 to 10 points, and then some of them is 6 to 12 points. So what I mean is that they always have 2 out of 3 that you can pick as a passive here, right? So we can modify it. It's called feats, right? And you have to invest enough point in order to get a feat. Now, what I observe is that you as you invest more point, of course your level will go up, and things become a little bit more powerful. But at least for the passive side, but you have to invest enough in order to unlock some of these things. So intuitively, yes, of course, you can say I want to put 1 point on everywhere. It kind of makes sense. But then the fact that you also want to earn the modifier, because modifier could be quite a game changer, right? And if you also invest in modifier, then you start to see something quite different. So not only do you get more rage and so on, you also get the rage overflow can have a chance to recover energy, so you get more mana out of getting more rage. So that become a different way of playing as well. So it's not right or wrong answer. It depends on your build. And I also observe that anything that's above here, like on the higher tier, usually they are more powerful, but some of them have utility bits to it. So if you take a look at my Cyclone with the same gear, I'm having 549 kind of like damage, and versus this one is 332 DPS. I'm not sure why one is damage, the other is DPS, so I don't know which one is better in a sense. But it seems to me that the higher tier seems to be more kind of like more significant. I'm not sure. I'm still playing the game right now. So yeah, so that's it really. You can very easily respec things. You can minus off points here. It just costs you gold. You can just on the fly you can minus all these things, right? And then, or you can just discard it, just like Grim Dawn, but you do not need to talk to the one person to do it. You can actually do it yourself. So now that said, is almost towards the end of this video to give you a short update of where things looks like in this early build, I would say. Kind of like build wise, I'm playing the Storm and Warfare. Like I said to you, I'm using a Blizzard because I'm ice. This is basically a Cyclone, but of course I can make a Blizzard out of it. I can have the Doomhorn, just a debuff. I can also have 2 power that reserve mana but make me stronger, more damage, as well as better kind of like better kind of durability. And last but not least, I'm going to show you the what I mean by the so-called quote-unquote I won't even say end game, but the thing is that you could increase or decrease any kind of like, you know, the map level as well, so that it's really cool. Or you could refund all the attribute that require kind of gold as well. So it's kind of interesting. You can do increase, decrease difficulties, elevate enemy level in previous area, as well as respawn enemies in the area. So you can actually do all these things if you so want to. All right. So this is just a very brief walkthrough of where things are, and I'm sure in time to come there'll be more kind of like excitement in this game. And do let me know in the comment box below or your thought about this game. And my apologies for my previous upload. Don't know why my audio just disappeared halfway, not even halfway through the video. Gosh, so embarrassing. Okay, happy gaming. See you next time. Bye.